Hello students and welcome back to my channel. This is the Community Nutrition series of videos, and today we're going to continue by taking a look at the nutrition education and policies. So expect to learn in this video the interventional strategies in community nutrition, the nutrition education and dietary advices, and how social media can affect the community nutrition. Hi, I'm Tommy. I'm a home nutrition student and researcher at the university. What I do in this type of videos is to synthesize my classes so then I can explain and teach you the best and most valuable information you need to know. So let's begin this video by taking a look at the intervention strategies in community nutrition. So, intervention strategies. We can act at different levels here. We have a target group, which can be an individual, a community, and a system. And we have different levels. The level 1 is to raise awareness, and we do it individually using posters, billboards, flyers, and exhibitions. In a community, awareness raising events and media advertisement. In a system, using labeling and nutrition claims on the products. Level 2 is lifestyle change. In an individual, dietary advice, counseling, small group workshops, how to read labeling, cooking, and menu design. In a community, nutritional education, exercise promotion in schools and neighborhoods, but also in civic centers and to take into account also the elderly people. And in a system, our national level exercise program and healthy eating promotion in large areas. Level 3, to create a favorable environment, and we do that individually using training and health promotion, mainly. In a community with tax incentives, and we in a system using legislation and labeling regulation. The community interventions can be using direct actions, which are promoting healthy and balanced diets, and structural actions that support the direct action. And the bodies involved here are the governments. They do create policies and allocate the funding, the private sector, food industries and media, the health professionals to improve the effectiveness of individual health promotion, such as the United Nations, the FAO, or the World Health Organization. They promote healthy eating and they recommend standards. They are also focused on prevention and health promotion policies. Civil society organizations such as associations, non-governmental organizations, universities and foundations, and also individuals. They can promote healthy behaviors in all living environments. So what are the types of strategies we can adopt here? Improving the quantity, but also the quality of food, using legislative framework, regulations and standards, availability of healthy food for vulnerable people, such as children and elderly, food quality control, very important, nutrition education and consumer information. And we do this to empower, inform, consult and engage in the community. Spain's nutrition strategy was, for example, the NAOS, which stands for Nutrition, Physical Activity and Obesity Prevention. This aims to promote health, and the initiatives were the Educa NAOS, campaigns, NAOS Convention, the PAOS Code, the NAOS Strategy Awards, as well as nutrition analysis and the study of obesity. The nutritional policies include the nutritional objectives and the guidelines. The nutritional recommendations are the quantitative recommendations to prevent chronic diseases without discriminating on the gender or age. So these are basically the nutrient recommendations for everyone. And to achieve those recommendations, there are the food guides. These are the graphic representations of the nutritional recommendation. And to elaborate those guidelines, we need a multidisciplinary group involving various organizations and universities. So what are the steps for the creation? We have to review the diet nutrient, biomarker, health mortality, relationships. We have to identify the specific problems in a country, identify the key nutrients to assess the problems, identify the key food groups that contain those nutrients that will solve the problems, identify the consumption patterns, so how many foods are needed of each food group. Then we have to develop country-specific graphical representations, and then we have to test and optimize. What are the limitations and controversies of these guidelines? There are differences between the pyramid, which will emphasize on cereals, and the plates that emphasize on vegetables. There are some conflicts of interest between the food guide and the food industry, of course. There is a lot of diversity of food guides at institutional and regional levels, leading to many versions, which will lead to confusion. There is the inclusion of alcoholic beverages and supplements in some guidelines, which can indeed be a controversial topic, and the consideration of sustainability from farm to fork. So these guidelines, to recap, they should be understandable and easy to integrate for the population. Otherwise, they will lead to confusion. Moving on, we have the nutrition, education, and dietary advice. This focuses on directing resources towards learning, adapting, and accepting healthy eating habits. The goals are to provide health management behaviors and increasing the personal skills and resources, so to empower the people. This works best in school settings because there are participatory dynamics involving all groups in the community. And here we have the concept of nutrition coach. We have to be aware of nutritional intrusion and always rely on scientific evidence, because there are a lot of people that recommend diets, but they are not dietitians or nutritionists. The nutritional education programs, the steps. The first one is to define the problem. The second one is to find the objectives using the PRAMP acronym, which stands for positive, realistic, accelerated, measurable, personal, and specific objectives. So goals that we can actually achieve. Then we have to develop the strategies. Number 4 is the resources, so financial, human, location, materials, equipment, time, and even knowledge. Number 5 is plan of action, so the contents, the methodology, and the teaching materials. And number 6 is the evaluation and recalibration, because this is a cycle. After we have done this, mostly done when corporate funds are received, we will get back to the objectives and start again. The goal of this is to improve it even further. Promoting behaviors will lead to general coverage through a legislative framework and social networks. Prevention types, we have the primary, which is preventive and individual health improvement, the secondary, which has to do with groups with risk indicators or sick people, and the tertiary, which has to do with improvement of quality of life and disease progression. So what are the collective groups that can benefit from these nutritional education programs? Well, we have the preschoolers, the school-age children, the adolescents, and the adults. So literally everyone. In the preschoolers, well, they have a limited knowledge and they are unaware of the advertising impact. Here we have to promote good habits and avoid forcing. When evaluating their diet, we have to take into account the familiarity, the psychological consequences, the emotional tone. We have to remember they are in a learning stage, and also the self-regulation. School-age children, they have a slower growth, an increased knowledge and neurodevelopment. They have some friend influence and curiosity for new things. So the specific educational methods must include visual things that are close to them, valuing self-esteem, and we have to treat them like champions when they eat healthy foods. In the adolescents, from 12 to 18 more or less, they are in constant hunger. They eat out. They start to have critical and reflective thinking. There is a group comparison, body image distortion, maybe some eating disorders, and a social media exposure. They rely on fast food, they maybe start to try alcohol, they skip breakfast, and they own their own money. So this is a very tricky group to assess. And then we have the adults. Here we have time constraints. The debates here are very effective, especially when they have to defend contrary ideas. This group of people have a lot of past experiences, a decision-making responsibility, and intrinsic motivation. Here we have to provide immediate application of information and to create a favorable environment. It's also very good to make sure that there is a participant involvement of everyone and a dialogue and debates encouragement, because again, they will benefit from those debates. And then we have community nutrition and social media. The influence of media, marketing, and advertising on purchases is very, very big. Nowadays, we have a lot of information. There is a broad false info, and we have to take into account a multidisciplinary nature of this. So the dietitian nutritionist on the network, on the media and social networks, they must collaborate. This is finding community nutrition program collaborators and sharing messages on various platforms. We also have to remind that there is a possible negative impact of social media on childhood obesity and eating disorder. Therefore, we have to create different types of content on radio, television, newspapers, and internet even. And there is an importance of choosing the right communication channels, the work team, and the information dissemination, because it's not the same addressing a problem in a population of only elderly or adolescents. Nowadays, there is a preference for internet information over in-person due to the cost. I mean, there is a lot of free information available nowadays, but a lot of it tends to be false or misleading information. So there is a criteria for evaluating the reliability of information, and there is even the World Health Organization's HON code seal for approved and trustworthy information. So you have to know that when using information and communication technology in terms of health communication, nowadays there is a regulation by the World Health Organization. And here in Spain, we have the Absolutable Distinctive for reliable health information online. Okay, this is it for this video. I hope you understood everything I said. If you didn't, there is a comment section down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you get notified every time I upload a new video. If you find value in this, please share it to your friends and family to spread this knowledge to them as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one, in which we are going to talk about the population assessment in the community nutrition research. Stay tuned for more information on community nutrition. Hope you enjoyed. Ciao!